So hi friends, in this video let us learn about what is a nested try. A nested try is I have one part of code that throws me a different exception and another part of code that throws me another exception. So here see in my demo I have created a method called perform operation. So I'm having a try block inside which I'm giving two try. So one try is throwing me an arithmetic exception and another try is throwing me an array index out of bound. So this is called a nested try where I am giving a try inside another try. So when I am trying to call this method, I should get both my exceptions getting displayed. Let us see that. See, both my arithmetic exception and array exception has occurred. And next is throwing an exception. Throw is nothing but explicitly you are throwing, you are not going to handle it. You are just throwing it. So what is it as? It is defined by means of the word throw new arithmetic exception. Of you can either give a string over here. If you are giving some string, this would be your output there. Otherwise, the normal output of the Java would get displayed. So see, I am creating a method. I am giving a less than 4. My a is 3. So my 3 is less than 4. My condition is true. So in that case, this exception should be thrown. Okay. See, arithmetic exception divide by 0. Say if my condition is false. So in that case, so I am giving 3 less than 1. So in that case, see, my condition satisfied is getting displayed. And also, what if I am not giving anything over here? I am just defining throw new arithmetic exception. So in that case, I'll give the system generated exception. Sorry, wait, let me change this again. So I'll not get anything displayed because I'm not giving any string. So it is just throwing me a runtime exception, that is arithmetic exception. So this is how you use throws. Next comes, you use throw. Next is throws. Throws is mainly used with a checked exception. So let us also see finally block here. Finally block is nothing but though you have exception or not, the finally block would get executed. So let me give finally over here. Okay, let us see that. I'm in finally. See, I am in finally would get explicitly displayed irrespective of your exception is caught or not. Next is the use of throws. Okay, a throw is mainly used for explicitly throwing an exception. So when you are performing some IO operation, be it an SQL operation, you explicitly throw an exception. See, when it comes to unchecked exception, you know that this part can throw arithmetic exception. This part can throw me array index out of bound. But when it comes to checked exception, it is something that you can't predict, right? So in that case, you mainly use throws. So when you are using throws, you have to either throw an exception or you have to catch the exception. So here, say I am having a method display one off. Okay. So, I'm having a method where I am just using throws IO exception inside which I am throwing an exception. Okay, so here see why it is showing me an error, because when I am throwing an exception in my method, in the main method, I should either throw a generic exception or the same specific exception. See here I can give either exception. Okay, either exception, that would also clear my error, or I can give my more generic exception which is IO. I can give both as well. IO exception and exception. Both I can give here. But the order should be, this exception should be at the last. See what if happens, I am throws IO exception comma IO exception. What happens here is, in that case my general exception would be thrown rather than my IO exception. Okay, when you want specific exception, then you should give only that exception which you wanted to give. Okay, now let us run this and see. See, IO exception occurred. What I have given over here is getting displayed, and we also have something called exception propagation. See, exception propagation is calling from one method to another method. So I am giving display to off. Okay, so inside which I am calling display one off. Okay, so here I can call display to off. So here instead, now display to off will call me my display 1, and in my display 1 only I am handling an exception. So that is called as exception propagation. So this, in a better way you can understand is having a try-catch block where you have exception propagation. Next, in the next upcoming video, let us learn about the difference between throws and throws.